first tutti frutti presentation we've ever done. Okay, so go this way. Now, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and those who followed you in. Barbican Library staff. Oh my God,
we're doing it again. No, we can't start again. Go. Go.
Okay.
Second slide.
This is about Barbican Library crime collection, which most of you probably don't realise exists. It's a collection of vintage 1930s crime fiction that we inherited about 30 years ago, and which is unbelievably on open access at the Barbican Library.
It predates the crossword. Before the Sudoku, crime novels purchased from stalls such as this one, we believe that to be Keith, actually, in this picture, was mercilessly devoured by commuters. So fiendish plots and dramatic twists took the traveller's mind off the sudden cancellation of the 450 from Paddington. So what is the crime collection? Well, it's 800 books, hardback and paperback, dating back to the 1920s and 30s. As Keith says, most held on the open shelves in Barbican Library. A few are just in too poor condition to put on the open shelves. Some are enthralling, some are great read, others just aren't great for modern sensibilities. So how did we get these books? Well, the collection was given to us by Manchester Polytechnic Library. In 1982, they were looking for a good home for the books, and the then city librarian, Melvin Barnes, who writes about crime fiction, happily accepted this unique collection. Before that, private library, before that, individuals.
Agatha Christie, Marjorie Allingham, Nana Marsh, and Dorothy L. Sayers, collectively known as the Four Queens of Crime, are also well represented in the collection. I'm sure you'll recognise Edgar Wallace, perhaps no longer the name he once was, and Anthony Gilbert, once a very popular author, wrote into the 70s, now a bit forgotten. Also in the collection are many writers you would never have heard of. I'd like to mention the names Hulbert Footner, Robert Law Brown, Bruce Graham, even the thriller, David Hume. Who would remember them these days? But when they were writing in the 1930s, they were extremely popular authors. Also in the collection is a remarkable slice of society as it was at the time. Pot picking in Kent was once a vacation spot for many East Enders. Now, of course, it's largely vanished. But it seems to be a very dangerous place to go if you actually get killed while picking the hops. Okay. The upper classes are also represented in the collection, and in fact this is why it's called the golden age of crime, because many of the murders take place in a country house where people from the upper classes have been invited for the weekend. They're all rather well-heeled, and none of them have an actual job. They all kind of come down to the country house, but they all have one thing in common. They all have a motive for murder.
Now, Keith gets gentility and I get teeth. The back of the books are worth looking at themselves. It gives you something to get your teeth into, literally. So we've got Colonos toothpaste, use them all. Other adverts have appeared, adverts for wedding dresses as well. One thing you'll probably never find on the back of one of these books is a synopsis of the plot.
Everyone recycles these days, and 80 years ago it was no different. Notice those two books, several years apart, the same publisher, same cover illustration, different authors, different titles. The plots must have been almost similar enough for the publishers to think, well, we'll save some money this time, and we'll recycle one of our old paintings.
That's supposed to have a picnic in it. Gimmicks. The book was considered a game by both the author and the reader. So some people put in both a crime mystery of souls and a crossword puzzle, as in A.W. Mason there. Or they put in the latest technology. So if one wanted to take the latest airliner from Croydon, 12:30, you could do that.
Good joke. Okay, Dr. Watson returns to 221B Baker Street one morning to find Sherlock Holmes in the doorway, painting it yellow.
I say, Holmes, what are you doing?
Why, my dear Watson, the web detective replies, it's a lemon entry.
Oh. The jackets of these books are worth looking at. Beautiful line illustrations from the 1930s, this group on the left here, particularly noticeable. As the 30s gave way to the 40s, it got too expensive to do that, so they got into a photo process. Again, very dramatic picture, but I think it loses something at that point as well. And talking of losing things, here's one updated for the 21st century. Some books are unreadable, some books you just can't look at. But these are 3 stars, maybe not of today. On the left there you can see Boris Karloff. and Brad Pitt, or is it?
In his dreams, yeah. Right, the 1930s also saw the advent of the paperback. White Circle were an early publisher, and these were priced at between sixpence in old money and 1 shilling. That's 2.5 pence to 5 pence for a brand new paperback. They did, however, opt for a generic cover design, thus making costs cheaper than commissioning a brand new painting for the cover. Okay? Crime is undoubtedly the single most popular genre of fiction, and collectors will pay a premium for books of this vintage with the dust jacket. They can add 50% to a book's resale value. Collectors will even take a second edition jacket put on their coverless first edition novel.
So why should we care about a collection of 800 books? Well, it's pretty unique. Until recently, it was lost in the stacks in the Barbican. We put it on the open shelves. Until recently, it was just available as titles in the library catalogue, the LMS. But now Keith has created a crime collection catalogue, available from your local library. And this year, we went in June this year to a Golden Age of Crime event at the British Library. Authors such as Simon Brett were there, and the chair of the Crime Writers Association, all of whom we tried to get them to join the library, first of all. We took our stuff there as well. Keith took a disguise as well. We're a bit worried about that one.
Now, can I ask if there are any crime fiction fans in the audience? As well as the modern authors, you might like to take a look at some of these. Not perhaps the Agatha Christie one, or the Margie Allingham, but some of these you may not have sampled before. All are represented in the collection, all are a good read, and basically, if you don't take advantage of this wonderful collection, it would be a crime.